Oh. You should be trying like fucking Emily. Let's hype this shit up.
I will not be able to. No.
I need the appropriate volume for this. What up? Welcome back to The Vibe Has Spoken. The Survivor podcast, exactly one of you watches, and we love you, Matthew.
Hey, look, every week I'm going to keep dropping the link to this in the Survivor Reddit, and one of these days it's gonna get seen by people, and it's gonna get watched.
Our first episode is like
I'll
55
say our
views.
first episode of the show has like 50 views.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Last week's has like 20.
You know,
based off of like rate of decay,
we'll have negative 10 today.
Yeah.
All right, this is on loop. Shit, I gotta stop that. Okay, let me put it on loop. Anyways, yeah, season 45, episode 8. Cam had a great time. I've driven 5 hours today and want to die.
God, that episode rocked, dude.
I have my problems overall, and we can get to them. I was reading a review in Entertainment Weekly that said this is the best episode of the season. And while I disagree, it's a great fucking episode. And tonight solidified, this is my favorite New Era season. I'm sorry, 42. Yeah, you can still drop the ball, but like
this is just.
I've gone to the fucking live things twice. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned it last week. I went to a live event with Fair Play and Jesse. Also at the event was Adam from Cook Islands. He's sweet, and I already forgot her fucking name. A older blonde woman from Nicaragua who really hated Chase.
Was it Jane? Was it Holly?
I think it was Jane. Jane Bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's nice. Very, very sweet.
Jane is. I know Nicaragua is one of like the few seasons you have yet to watch. Jane is something on that season. Let me tell you.
She's really nice today. Although she still doesn't like Chase because apparently something happened that season.
Yeah.
Where they like threw hands or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go ahead and start it while I go ahead and throw these links around.
Yeah. So we start the episode. They get back from last week's tribal, and last week I said, I'm like, man, I want the best for my guy Jake, but it just didn't go well for him. And we get back, and like truly, Sifu getting voted out last episode didn't matter to this episode whatsoever. Nobody cared. The only really important thing that happens right out the gate is just like Jake and Julie have a little conversation where Jake's like, I'm willing to move past it. I'm willing to work with you. It was what I had to do. And Julie is like, no, you voted for me and I want you gone and I hate you. And then
my fucking camera froze. I gotta reset this shit.
So that
I'll try to be quick.
Yeah, so we have that. I hate that when your camera's turned off, we have to look at that picture.
Beef Nana bottom text.
But so we finish that like after tribal conversation, and then we get back the next day, and we have all the girls are hanging out in the shelter, and they're like, there's 6 girls, 4 guys, women's alliance. Let's work together.
I'll be back very quickly.
The way they phrase it is like, we finally have the chance to take out some guys. To which I will say, you just took out 2 of them. Like you had the chance. You did it twice just now. It's been less than 12 hours probably, and you did it. But so they have this conversation, and they're like, man, the guys have probably also noticed this and are probably also talking about this possibility. And then we cut to the dudes on the beach talking about tacos. Which what a juxtaposition. And that's kind of like the main content we get before the auction. And then a boat shows up and a table gets wheeled out. Everyone's like, oh shit, a table. That's new. That's a really interesting way to look at it. But we get a cool new twist on the auction where Adelaide leaves and I do the podcast by myself, it appears. But we get a cool new twist on the auction where basically for your money, they've hidden, I think they said 40 bamboo tubes full of cash around the beach. And it's just like find as many as you can. You can only take one at a time. How
Okay,
much money do you while you were gone? I just talked about how we are super supportive of Survivor legend Jeff Varner, who you got a signed photo of a few hours ago.
Yeah. Okay, for context, I was at the event, and during the commercial breaks, Fair plays a bunch of like signed pictures. Actually, I'm gonna get it after I say this. And he is like, oh yeah, here's a bunch of shit, and like if you can say what season they were from, you can get this authentic thing. And the first thing, and he pulls up as Jeff Varner. I'm a fucking dumbass, and I don't hear the name or I don't like process it. Like, oh yeah, boom, because I like trivia. I'm gonna contribute. And I have a poster of Jeff. I have a picture of Jeff Hartnett just staring at me, and I will explain more to that in a second. More brief, Nana. I'll be right back.
So they go around and they start finding some tubes full of cash, and basically they all end up with different amounts of money. And the big focus that entire time is Bruce basically being like, slow and steady wins the race. I'm gonna take some leisurely time. I'll put on my shoes, go for a nice little stroll, find the tubes of cash, come back, and we got it. And that strategy does not work for Bruce. Bruce gets a grand total of $80,
Dumbass.
which is a solid like several hundred below the next lowest person. Like it's at least 200 below the next person.
So I want to show this off, and I'm going to say I have problems with how this is set up. So at the event, obviously, Johnny didn't know that Jeff Harner is like a piece of shit. So after educating him, he took my thing, tore it up in front of everyone, and gave me 2 for replacement. So the other one I won was Mama C from Worlds Apart. There is her actual genuine signature.
Hell yeah.
I got Figgy from Whales vs. Gen X, star of Squid Games.
Upcoming Squid Game competitor, because Netflix does not understand political commentary to save their lives.
And there is this woman from Marquesas. I do not know her, but she seems very nice.
Oh man,
if you can read cursive, I cannot.
It also does not help that Marquesas is like the one season that I know truly nothing about.
Well, I got something from Marquesas, the old people's favorite season. But yeah, so I don't like how they set up the auction. I do think that everyone having different amounts is a very interesting thing, finding everything really cool. I really hate the different amounts in each cylinder because someone's like, oh my God, I found $1,000. That's crazy. And I think it is balanced a little bit by like, if you have the most, you lose your vote, which I also have complicated feelings about. But it just seems strange. It's like, just make it all the same. It just, I don't know. It seems like an extra layer to just like add spice when it's already like plenty salty,
See, I liked the new format. I thought like the hunt for money was kind of fun, kind of cool. It made things really interesting. I like that they incentivized people to spend their money instead of everyone just sitting around like normally happens in these auctions. Although that is a thing where the uneven amount of money kind of comes more into play.
And there was no advantages. It was just food, but there was no advantages. It was just fun. That's what we wanted.
It's like I expected them to maybe Australian Survivor it, where they hide advantages inside some of the items or something, but nah. Like there wasn't an idol secretly hidden in one of those fish eyes or anything like that.
I would have respected it so much if they hid like an extra like shot in the dark, just like stuffed it up there.
Dude, it would have been something. But yeah, overall, like everyone made out really well from that auction except for Katura.
I have the list of everything from the auction.
Okay.
Just to have some context. So after going through all of the digging, everyone found this money. Austin found $700, actual money. I would have pocketed that shit and left the island with it. Bruce had 80. Dee had 900. I'm gonna guess she found one of those with her foot. Drew had 520. Emily 500. Jake 340. Julie 420. Katura 480. Kelly 700. And Kendra 360. Which, honestly, this team is pretty like equivalent to challenge prowess. Other than like Emily has like a really high amount, which is really good for her, and Bruce just old, doesn't want to run, supposed to like hang out.
He puts his shoes on and he goes for a walk and he gets $80. And you know what? If I got $80 for putting my shoes on and going for a walk, I would be a lot skinnier.
And then the actual things that they bought, which I don't know if you wanted to add more, but I think it's a really like fun auction for the most part, except for one thing, which is like Kendra buys beer and some hard pretzels, and there's more to that later.
Yes.
Kelly bought, what the fuck was Moss?
Kelly buys a drink and some fries.
Yeah, she got fries, ketchup, and Coke. And then she got the fucking last thing, which I don't know why I messed up what it was. Oh, margarita. That's a G. Margarita at the very end. She's like, I want a margarita. And Emily's like, hey, yo, he was careful with that, bet all your fucking money.
Chance margarita, financial analyst Emily Flippin.
Emily got a covered item, got a charcuterie board, buried her head in the sand like a fucking ostrich and cried, and then twerked after eating salami, which only like certifies my love of her.
Winners at
only winners twerk for salami.
If twerking for salami was all it took for me to win $1 million on a game show, I'd be a lot heavier than I am right
now. D bought a chocolate shake for $900. I get it. Yeah. She's gonna shit wrong for a week.
Hey,
that much dairy is gonna ruin her.
It's what happens, but
yeah,
you buy it, you go for it, and we'll see how it works out.
Katura, the absolute queen, bought some fish eyes. Yep. Took like a little lick, like no, I'm good. And then Austin for $100 went and like ripped.
Did it like an apple.
My favorite part about it, and I had like a guttural reaction when it happened, is he bit it and like the skin on the front came off, and he slurped it like spaghetti afterwards. Like straight protein, my guy.
Shout out to Jake, who had the exact reaction I would have in this situation, which is like, no, I'm good. No. I'll pass.
It was gross as fuck, but I respect it because that dude, like, he's like, I'm just gonna eat whatever I can. Worms, I'll eat them. I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Drew got candy, and he's just like, I'm good. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna shit wrong. I don't need it. It's like, okay.
Well, I think he still was gonna eat it, but he was like, I'm not gonna eat it all at once, like right here, sitting right now.
He's gonna who the fuck who did that in another season where like they found a food reward and just buried it on the beach?
Because that happens in Millennials versus Gen X, where Taylor steals Merge Feast food and then buries it on the beach and then frames Adam.
Were those all the jars?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know it's that, and I like a version
of Australian Survivor. There's a dude who wins a jar full of cookies and buries the jar of cookies in the woods, and then makes alliances with people by being like, "Hey, I have a secret jar of cookies buried in the woods. Let's go and eat cookies." And then also starts sprinkling cookie crumbs on competitors he doesn't like to try to frame them for having.
Okay, please tell me this is one of the good seasons.
Australian Survivor 2017, great season, so good. We love Jericho, the Cookie Monster, Malabonga.
Austin buys a slice of real gross-looking pizza because it's Survivor. The pizza has to be bad. Yeah.
So Survivor pizza.
Julie buys a toothbrush and some mouthwash.
She really just wanted to get rid of her money at that point so she could vote.
And again, we have one more. And then Jake gets a cake split with 3 people. And surprisingly, they go through like the whole thing.
I love at the end. You see all of them just with 2 handfuls of cake.
No. I'm pissed. Because Bruce and Julie are like, ooh, peace. And Jake's like, I need the fucking food. He's like, oh. And he walks up with 2 handfuls.
And Jake and Julie
knows what he's doing.
Handfuls of cake. Sadly, there was no Eric Reichenbaching at this auction.
I will pay you $20 to lick your fingers.
The thing is, like, no one wanted to still have money at that. No one would take that offer.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think that the forcing to spend money is a good twist. Especially, like, I think this only works if there's no advantages.
Yeah.
I think it benefits like the lower scores, but I think truly just having like this isn't a game anymore. This is for fun and to feed you. Have fun. Fucking do something. But I think the rock draw for like a limited amount was strange. Like you could just be like, hey, yeah, we're out. This is done. Like, that's how it's been done in the past. I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, and I think the uneven amount of money kind of like made that not a thing because it's like, oh, she went to 500. And it's like, I can't just offer to tie her at 500 because she has more than $500 now. Like,
yeah. I think that actually is a good part of it. It's like there's no ties for like a coin flip or anything or drawing rocks. Like it's just like everyone's uneven. There's no way to like predict it.
To the older days of Survivor where it's like someone's got to get to 500 first, which I liked that format better of like, oh, if you want this and someone else wants this, well, someone's going to bid $500 first. So if you really want it, make sure that that's you.
But I don't think anything was as iconic this time around as actually I don't know. Maybe Emily twerking is as good as Woo's fat dip of guac.
That Woo the Survivor Kage auction is like the best auction. It's
maybe
stop spending your money, you cheapo depot.
I should rewatch Kage on. I've seen the premiere like 3 times. I think we just jump into the challenge after that. Is there anything else between now and then?
Like we go back to camp and we get the Kendra.
Where maybe that's like her setup for a winner's edit. After tonight, I don't think she's winning at all. She's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is probably like her little like late game, like, hey, this is someone who like, no, you'll be seeing her, like, get used to her. Either she's gone next week or she's hanging out until finale, probably.
I'll be honest, when she got that, I turned to my fiance and I was like, hey, this is the kind of thing that you would see right before someone goes home, right?
Yeah.
Like, we haven't learned a lot about Kendra, and now all of a sudden out of nowhere we are. I thought it could have been her tonight before everything happened, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. And we go to the challenge, which is a challenge that I really enjoy. It's just one of those like simple challenges I think is weirdly good TV. So preseason they're weighed, and you come to the challenge like, hey guys, so you're gonna hold on to a pole which carries 33% of your preseason weights. Make it slowly harder and harder until the very end where you have to hold on. And I don't remember. Maybe you can correct me. I don't remember them ever going to like the bottom, like below the knots.
They've maybe done it like once or twice, but it rarely gets that far, is the thing.
Yeah.
But also they had the twist on this one of like, you can't bend your arm has to be straight out, which I was like, that's rough. Hard. Like, well, I think that's all shoulder and back right here. No bicep, nothing. It's just this up there.
But before we get to that, Jeff's a psychopath, and I sort of love him for it.
It's old school Jeff again, and I'm so here for it. Like that was the moment of the episode for me and my fiance. For me and Jordan, we were watching it, and it's like the two of them volunteer, and then Katura's like, we can all agree, like negotiation amongst each other, like we'll be nice to whoever does it. And Jeff's like, you know what, you're right. This discussion should go pretty quickly. Pulls out a knife, and perhaps like he just pulls out a knife, and he goes, what? And then he stabs the bottom of the bag, and I love how immediately Drew is like, okay, I'm out. Yep, I'm sitting. Like,
and everyone else is like, oh, but I don't want to do the challenge. Like, no, bro, save your calories. You're at final 10. You're fine, bro.
It's like, it was a great moment where we're just in there, we're like, this is awesome. This is old Jeff again. He's back. He's being sassy and crazy like we know and love him. Where have you been for 4 seasons? I think the toll of 2 people quitting the game has finally shook him back into being...
He's broken.
They broke him back into what he needs to be.
Production didn't know about the knife. He just brought it himself.
Yeah, you know? Oh, shit, Jeff has a knife. Oh, God. But so it's Emily, D, Drew, and Katura sit out.
Yeah.
Before the rice can go too far. And then we get the
The
challenge.
challenge involved hands, not feet. So D was like, I don't need to be here.
D went out pretty quick, and then Kelly was out shortly after. And then the final four, we had Austin, Jake, Bruce, and Julie. And before the challenge, I was like, oh yeah, this is an Austin thing. Like it's just like core strength and also relative to your body weight. Where I'm like, Austin is it's like a
He's very
strong
top
dude,
heavy in terms of
but he's not a heavy dude.
No.
So I was like, this is an Austin thing. And then our final two in this challenge ended up being Julie and Bruce. And I was like,
Yeah.
what world are we living in?
Well,
What world are we living in?
Julie is in shape, but she's also like she's not losing a large like percentage of her weight, I guess. Like she's still like relatively strong. Like it's I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Bruce is just like naturally like built because he played football. We know from his talks with Caleb.
And a thing we didn't really talk about before the challenge is like everyone's basically like, so yes, Bruce, we want to get rid of Bruce. The Reba gang plus Emily is like, hey, Katara, who do you want to get rid of? And Katara's like, I want to get rid of Bruce because getting rid of Bruce is Katara's entire personality on this show. And then we're down to the final two, and it's Julie versus Bruce. And I was like, Julie would be much more impressive, and I'd be like, yo, you know what? That's awesome that like the older lady on the season won the like endurance strength comp. But I'm also like, if Bruce wins it, it's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot more interesting.
But I don't want to know. There were active boos from the live audience when Bruce won. Yeah. Where it's like, I think that he is really good TV. Like I'm happy that he's still around, but this cast is like so stacked. I'm happy to see them play. That he is just taking a spot for another week from someone who I would have liked more confessionals from, like the person who went home tonight, who I think was on your winners pick list. And I think she was on mine or close to it.
She was in my top 3 last week, but we'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there.
So the challenge ends. They back to camp. It's like, well,
Bruce won immunity.
We can't really do a split vote anymore, guys. What are we gonna do?
And the plan that seems to be the plan basically every week this season of, well, let's just have everybody dogpile on one person, and I guess that person's Jake. And I was like, oh man, because I really like Jake. Like I made it clear last week. I like Jake. I'll make it clear.
Jake's a good dude. He looks like your cousin. Like y'all could be related.
Jake, I see a lot of me in Jake. I will say my fiance was talking about, she saw a Twitter thread a while ago of like people talking about their weird Survivor crushes, and basically the entire thread was people just being like, hey, look, nerd boys. My weird crush is Carson. My weird crush is Steven Fishback. My weird crush is Adam. And then Jordan was like, honestly, Jake's kind of cute. And she's like, and I think it's because he just kind of looks like you. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. I see it and I'll take it.
Yeah.
But like, I like Jake. He's fun. He's just like happy to be there. I enjoy watching the dude. Yeah. So the discussion very much comes down to like, well, it's Jake. And Jake is like, well, it seems like it's me. So I'm going to go start just hunting for an idol publicly out in the open. And they sent Katara following him for a while, and we don't really see anything.
I don't know. The way that they were editing his like idol search, I was like, oh, he's like finding one. Like it really just felt like we were ready for like I don't know. The way that they edited him in the music just sounded like this is like the build up to something, and then they don't. Yeah. Which I was like, okay, he is good, but then I'll get to it later. But everyone at the bar was like convinced he found one and it wasn't shown in the edit. Like, no, they would have mentioned it. They wouldn't like hide that until Tribal. That's not what Survivor does.
Except for Survivor Micronesia.
Yeah.
They done did that one time. And you know what? It's great for it.
Oh, yeah.
Hiding an idol. But, and to be fair, like with the new editing, you could see it happening. But so Jake's going around looking for an idol. And then Emily and Kelly go to talk to Jake. They're like, hey, Jake, we want your vote, and we don't want you to play shot in the dark.
Cringe. I was cringing so fucking hard.
And they're like, well, Jake's, and they're like, yeah, and they're like, all right, so who do you want? And it's like, oh, I don't know. And they're like, well, we think we got someone. He's like, okay, who? And they're like, oh, we thought you were gonna say, like, they're trying so hard.
He fully called their bluff.
They're trying so hard to bait Jake into being the first person to say a name, and he does not fall for it. He calls them on it and walks away from the conversation. And it's a great read and it's a great social moment from Jake. It doesn't get him off the bottom at all, but it's a solid read.
And do we get anything else before actual tribal starts itself?
And then we get the discussion between the Reba
Jake and
4
Bruce. Oh yeah.
and Emily, where they
Yeah.
go, what if we maybe go for Kelly? What if we don't take the risk on Jake and we
It's
go for Kelly? And
it's
it doesn't seem super like
it seems like a last minute like edit. It's like, oh my god, there might be a twist. Whoa, and there's really not. Just like a test. But I don't know. I get from a gameplay standpoint, you don't want it like you want to get the biggest threat possible. And Kelly is like a massive threat. We've seen it in the editing. She's like socially on top of the Bello tribe. She's not bad in challenges, and Bello itself is sort of like falling apart. Because if Bruce is immune and you don't want to vote Jake, then it's her or Kendra, and Kendra is fucked. Kendra does not have like a big like winning potential, have a good resume right now. I get why Kelly is a target, but why couldn't you target Kendra? Give my girl Kelly another chance. Give her another fucking week. Like let something happen. Or fuck, target Drew Basile. Get rid of the men like you promised. Liars.
feminism is dead and Emily flipping financial.
I just started fucking BB24, and then you start with Chloe and be like, Taylor's not a girl's girl. She's too busy talking with the men and dressing like she wants.
BB24 is a season that like the first several weeks are full of severe toxicity and hostility. But then a single day happens and the entire game flips and it's much better. It's great because then all of a sudden everyone gets what's coming to them once a certain point in the season hits, and it's pretty great.
Taylor's just like, I love my outfit. Look at my clothes. If you guys want to wear them, you can. They look so good. Why are you like, oh, fuck this girl? She just wants to look hot and be looked at. Like, no, stop it.
Yeah.
You mean.
It's something, but
yeah. So then we get tribal council.
We get the tribal.
And
Jake's really
like, yeah, it's me, but like in a Boston accent.
Yeah, Jake is basically the only person that like talks during that tribal for the most part. And they go to him to start. And Jake is like, he's like, can I talk? Can I like make a pitch? And he sort of seems to start fumbling it a little bit, but he's like, if you feel you're on the bottom of this giant group who's all gonna dogpile on me, like you're making the wrong move. Which fair, absolutely. We love it. Keeps pitching. He's like, if you guys want to come with a plan, you want to make a move, I'm down to do it. Like he is Sierra Easton, Hayden Mossing it, where he's like, don't just sit there and be led to the slaughter. Make a move because you're not gonna win if you just sit here, especially if you're near the bottom. And I love it. But then he does something that makes me evil cackle, and I love, where he goes, if I were to play an idol tonight, and you see the
Kelly like,
and I started cackling. I started cackling and giggling and laughing. It was so good, and I think it works so well because he had those moments earlier where he was clearly like not.
He set up his own payoff,
proper. And it's entirely possible all of that was an act, which I think would be brilliant. But like,
it totally couldn't be.
And that stumble is so believable because of it. And
well, it's like, he literally passed out in fucking camp twice. The dude is barely functioning. You could expect him to literally just lose his words. This is fully. Oh, I love this season. I love this fucking season.
It's so good right now. Like, that was just something else.
And then almost immediately, Katura is like, hey, yeah, so he had a fumble. That's scary. Jeff's like, cool, time to vote. I was like, well, fuck. And Jake plays a shot in the dark, which I have a lot of questions. I think like the way that it works is it'll like if you use it and it fails, the chances go from 1 in 6 to 1 in 5. And then I think if Caleb had it successfully, it just resets to the 1 in 6, right?
I don't really know, frankly.
Yeah. It's almost like an
I don't.
underexploited
That's the thing
advantage,
about
which
Shot
is
in the
like a
Dark. Is like, is
replacement in
Shot in
the
the
show.
Dark done with replacement? Is it done not with replacement? Also, what is the point in giving someone a die if you don't let them roll a die?
Roll the fucking die!
Like it's
I would
frustrating.
way
But
prefer if it was just have it be like a comically big die. The player like throws themselves. Be more fun. It'd be good TV. It's a little Big Brothery, but
it'd
still
be
work.
something.
And then he plays the shot in the dark, and it says, "Whoa, not safe." Like no shit. Yeah, that's how it sort of works.
And then the votes start.
And
And
it's
we get
Jake,
and I'm like, oh man, Jake, oh man,
Kelly.
And the moment the first Kelly showed up, both of us were like,
Yeah.
let's go. And like I liked Kelly. Kelly was great, but both Jordan and I agreed. We were like, hey, we like Kelly, but we like Jake more, and we want to see Jake succeed. We love our boy. He is great. We love him.
Because he uses Shot in the Dark, like that's not a stray vote. That is someone targeting her straight up. She's like, what? Second vote, what? Third vote, she's fucked. And she is
her reaction and Kendra's reaction both to all of this were
Kendra's great fucking she's great reaction bait. Okay, so I looked up. In my opinion, we can get back to it. Kendra is fully just like Janine's zanging this season from 43. Just nothing can go her way. She's Charlie Browning a little bit, but not in like the affable way that you would have from like a Spencer or an Owen. She's just like fucked and can't get anything right. Everything is going against her. If she finds an idol, it's gonna get stolen straight up.
Yeah, but it's something. But so Kelly goes home 5-3, and she looked pissed.
Well, she's just emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. And also, I shout out to, I saw this clip shared multiple places, like on Twitter, on the Survivor Reddit, and everything. But when the final vote comes up for Kelly, there's the clip of Jake where he goes, "Whoa!" Oh, sorry, "Whoa!" And I'm like, that's funny. Such perfect. It's perfect Jake content where he's like, "Oh shit, I'm safe. Oh wait, that means someone else has to leave." Like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
She's like, "Did you do
Which
it?
I think is great.
Did you
but
do
then,
it? Did you do it?"
Yeah, and gets a hug from Bruce on the way out. Well,
because Bruce and Jake had physically no part in this. They were just,
Jake had nothing to do with it. But you know what?
Jake was blindsided too.
But here's the thing: is like, I don't know, because they didn't make it clear how set in place the Kelly plan was before Tribal, or if it was Jake's little fake idol slip that made things.
I doubt that it did, because it also just benefits them.
Yeah,
to like have him go out and waste his idol.
Like it's the thing that I've said before, where like the obvious boot of like, here's the big clear target in the middle is almost never your best game move this early.
Yeah,
like at the merge being like, oh, Caleb's a huge target, let's get rid of Caleb.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I wanted to mention this too. So I was with my friend at the bar tonight, and literally I'm 10 minutes from my house, and I don't realize until like offhanded sandwich comments. Austin has 2 idols now with Kelly gone.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And no one is talking about it. Austin has 2 idols. Drew Basile still has safety without power. Bruce has an idol. And then
the merge idol hasn't been found yet.
And that's it.
So here's the thing though. Austin is good for 2 more tribals. If he can be safe 2 tribals, he makes it to finale night. Yeah. He is fully fucking James Clementing right now. He's a physical threat with 2 idols and great socially. This dude is terrifying.
Yep. But like, and that's the thing is like, it'll be very interesting to see how the show talks about Austin's new existing idol next week, because I think that honestly will be one of the make or break things in terms of like, if you're looking at Austin's edit, if the show doesn't acknowledge and talk about the fact that he has a second idol now, like I think his edit is dead in the water from an editing standpoint. But this was like
Well,
insane.
because
Kelly goes
who
home.
knows about it? Because I think it's. I mean, we know Drew
I
knows. We
think it's
know
just
Emily
Drew.
knows.
Like Drew, maybe Julian D, maybe, but I don't
Emily
honestly
knows
know.
because I think he told her after that for the
You're
Brando
right.
vote.
You're right. He told financial analyst Emily Flippin.
Yeah, because if D and Julie know, that's a problem because they will blindside him and Drew. I think, or they'll try to. I don't know,
Yeah.
but if he's safe, at least one more vote. That's an easier walk.
Yeah.
Like this is scary, dangerous. This
Especially
like
because like
game.
Austin is a person you would expect to win immunities at some point.
Yeah,
You'd think it
come
hasn't
on,
happened yet, but
toe
you'd think
challenges.
like and speaking of challenges, do we want to start talking about what's coming? Whatever
Okay,
the bullshit next
I'm ready to
week?
fucking scream.
Why?
Let people play the fucking game, Jeff. I
Let
know
people
that's
play
Jeff doing
Survivor.
this.
Let people play the game.
At
Let people
final
vote.
9, you're losing 3 votes. That is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I forget. I know that Caleb gave the goodwill advantage to Drew. Did he use that at the Brando
The goodwill
tribal?
advantage was used by Austin.
Austin. Okay, I forget if that was
Because it
already.
was
I feel
used
like
by
I keep
Austin
naming
during
things.
the Brando vote,
Yeah.
and then Austin sacrificed his next vote at the merge to power up his idol fully.
Okay.
So the goodwill advantage is gone.
Okay. So it's still guaranteed.
Yeah.
That is a 6 vote. I fucking
Yeah. The only I mean, to be fair, it's very possible that they're like misleading us with the stuff next week because like they made it look like Jake was finding an advantage, but it was just a tube full of cash in last week's. Like they
yeah.
say that, but it's very possible that it's a mislead, and I hope it is because I like people losing votes. I don't think is like the worst twist of the new era. I think it's the most overdone twist of the new era.
Well,
But like
this
it's,
is
I'll take people losing votes over an hourglass, over a do or die.
here's
Like,
the problem. Potentially, there isn't a fully able merged tribal until final 8.
yeah,
That's fucking ridiculous. We even merged early this time. We merged at fucking 13
yeah,
for 5 fucking tribal councils. Lose your vote. That's ridiculous. That is fucking stupid. That's not a fair way to play the game.
it's a frustrating time. That being said, Survivor 45, top tier.
It's really great. I just fucking hate Oni.
Like it is great in spite of the things that are trying
Yeah.
that in spite of all the twists, not because of all the twists, is the best way I can phrase it.
If we're in a place where Bruce doesn't lose his vote this round, not a lot changes.
No.
We maybe like push rocks, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Last round, fucking who did anyone lose their vote last round? Forget.
No, everyone had their vote last round, but it was the double split 6.
Yeah, which is still fucking stupid.
And then
and final 13 was a
13
half.
Austin was the only person who didn't have a vote going in, but then Caleb gave it up for
but then half of them still had immunity, which still fucked the math of it all.
We have not had a this is technically the only normal tribal we have had since the
more
merge.
or less, yeah. But Bruce had, but there was a forced lose a vote because of the auction.
Yeah, but like, it's something.
Yeah.
Next week we'll see what happens. Any other major things from this episode to talk about?
Just Jake asked Bruce to use that on. He's like, "Oh, see," it didn't fucking happen.
We'll gauge I said it like the moment Jake brought it up. I was like, I don't think Bruce. There's a world in which Bruce uses an idol on anyone but himself.
Who are Bruce's allies?
Bruce.
No one's listening to what he says.
Jake, kind of.
Yeah, Jake is like reluctantly like, I need somebody.
Yeah, like Bruce and Jake have each other because they don't have anyone else.
Yeah. Okay,
it's unfortunate, but
we got top 3. Mine has not changed.
Mine clearly has.
Yeah.
given that Kelly is gone now.
I still think D has probably the best position in the game. Like maybe Emily flips on him at like final 5, but she's good. She's set for a while. Yo, what up, Matthew? You're finally done.
I was wondering why he wasn't here. He's here like every week and always talking to us, but no.
He was busy filming a match during the episode. Who would film during Survivor? Never me. Never done that before.
Hey, the episode was done for you before it started airing here, so
yeah, I still think D's in the best spot. Then Austin, then Emily. I think Austin's going to have like a massive threat, but he has 2 idols and immunity. We'll see if he like, I don't know, gets targeted. But and then Emily, Queen, finish analyst, and Emily flipping.
Yeah, like if we're talking best position, here's the thing: is like everyone seems to acknowledge that D is like a really powerful player.
That was also in the next time on Survivor.
Like D is really solid.
That's an interesting perspective. Because I'm trying to think like what female winners have we had since then? It's like just Marianne and Erica, right?
Marianne and Erica, neither of which I would call dominant. They're just like they both were underdogs who did it.
Yeah.
And then you get
sorry, Matthew, ignore this part. 40, 39,
and then we haven't had well, I mean, the most dominant female winner since Sarah Lucina isn't hard because there's only been 2 female winners since Sarah Lucina, and they were Erica and Marianne.
Yeah, that's fair. But I do think so. Like D has had a really strong at it.
Yeah, D's had a solid at it.
I'm glad that I think this is the first time that we had a female player in a while who's like I don't think has like been driven by social. Maybe Erica is more strategic, but she's like I think that she's truly like a 3-quadrant player that we haven't seen from a woman winner.
D is a very solid and very versatile player.
Yeah,
and I think that's the I think that's the problem right now for her is she is very clearly a physical player. She is very clearly a strategic player. She's very clearly a social player, and people have been catching on to that for a while, and it seems like it might catch up with her.
But I don't think she's the most
talking about. Like no one is talking about Emily. No one's talking about Austin. No one's talking about Drew. Like those are the names that never come up from anyone. Ever.
But here's my thing, though. I think D could float a little bit by like she's not the most physical. Austin is there. She's not the most social. Emily is there. She's not the most strategic. Drew is there. Like she has all 3, but because she's not the most in any one of those, she might be able to like divert the attention away from her. Especially if Julie is like a loyal follower to her, which I don't know what that looks like because she's not getting it great at it.
It really seems like it, and like I think Julie. Here's the thing: I'm gonna say has to. Julie should get wise to the fact that like if she goes far with D, she's not winning.
Yeah.
To be fair, like I don't know if there's. I think Julie has no shot at winning unless she gets to the end with like
Kendra
Katurah, Bruce. And even then, like I think there's a world in which in like a Julie, Kendra, Bruce final 3, Bruce wins.
Because here's the thing, Bruce could just be like, I had a big threat coming into this game. I was constantly under threat of getting voted out, but you know what? I calmed down. I found an idol.
Especially if he idles, if he plays his idol well and uses it correctly. Like I will say, I think he's still not in a great spot. But my Jake stock is continuing to rise. I like Jake a lot. He has shown a willingness to move and shake, and moving and shaking is happening.
In my opinion, the best way for Jake to make a run is to get in good with Reba, and then after like a Bruce vote, maybe even a Katurah vote after, or whatever, vice versa. You have to target Drew or Austin. Those 2 are going to be massive threats in the late game. While I think D is the bigger threat, I think targeting the men is going to get you more social capital.
I would have to look it up, but do you remember when the last time Drew can use his safety without power is?
I'm going to assume it's final 6. maybe Final 5.
That feels so late. Like
It
Final
does.
5
In
seems
in
so
my
late.
opinion, those like big advantages should expire at Final 8.
I'm looking this up on
Yeah.
the
While
Survivor
you do
Reddit.
that, I'm gonna stand by. I think advantages expiring at Final 5 is sort of stupid. I think especially with forced fire making and always a guaranteed Final 3, and we saw it with Jesse last season, where at a certain point you can sort of just like you can just like walk your way into FTC, and all you need to do is know how to make fire win immunity. I think it's a little too
Well,
late.
I have found what appears to be an answer.
Okay.
And it would seem that the safety without power advantage, the final time that it could play was this week, was this tribal,
Final 10?
final 10.
Huh.
So in that case,
Maybe there's like a Marianne perspective of like, hey, I didn't even need to use it.
I
That's
also
pretty
very
good.
much appreciate the fact that there are several people in the in the Survivor Reddit who are pitching a new advantage called power without safety.
How would that work?
Which I think is something
Is that just
interesting.
don't be immune, lol?
A take on the advantage, power without safety. This advantage allows the user to add as many votes as many times as they would like, with the drawback being twice as many votes are added to the user. What?
That's not impossible, but it's really difficult to pull off. My favorite still, and it's like it needs to be reworded, but the idea of a safety without consent, where you're basically forcefully swapping someone else, which I think is fun, should be worded better.
I love the idea of like being able to play, like the theoretical idea of, can I play safety without power on someone on the other side to force them to leave and take away a vote so that we can split easily.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say that Bruce has his vote still this week. You need that. That's a 5-5. You want to go to fucking rocks?
Yeah.
No. Hey, Swak, get the fuck out of here. Kendra, what are you going to do?
Someone else's pitch, advantage idea, power without safety. This advantage would allow you to vote, but in exchange, you have to stay at tribal council and be vulnerable. What a revolutionary concept.
Actually, okay, hear me. I think a fun like season twist. It'd be like a sort of a small one. I don't know. Is you could just make it where like if you were immune at a tribal, you can't vote. Because here's the thing. Then you'd be like, hey, I'm immune, but my side needs the votes. Hey, D, you're not a target, but no, you can't vote, but I can. That's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be something.
Yeah.
I think like if I had to pitch like a Survivor, here's the thing: is like I liked the idea of the knowledge is power advantage. It just never worked. Like I think in a world where knowledge is power actually pays off, it's kind of cool. But I also think like one of the best moments of the new era is the Survivor 41 idol heist of like not like idol heist, but the Xander flashing a fake idol to bait Liana into trying to safety without into trying to knowledge is powering him, forcing her to play her cards on the table and then winning it, and then winning in that tribal, sending Sydney home and saving Evie. Like that to me is one of the best moments of the new era, along with like the Jesse idol play, the Marianne 3-2-2 vote against Omer.
Yeah.
Like just fantastic moments.
I think that's all I have for the week.
I don't think I have anything else. We're entering the home stretch of this season, and I like I'll say we talked about like our ranks of like who we think could win, will win. I will say like the two people that could win this season right now that would make me like abundantly happy to see would be Emily, or if Jake somehow manages to win this game, I would love it. I would love to see Jake win. He'd be such a fun and interesting winner, and enjoyable, rootable dude.
He'd be like a Charlie Brown-esque winner. Like I don't think
He,
he's had a lot of like
Jake
great winning
Jake would be the
moments.
new Adam, honestly.
That's true. That's a good perspective.
Like
I think he also got his sad backstory.
Or I want to
Arena
see
where it works
like
in the
or I
edit.
want to see Jake go full Rick Devens from here. I
So
think he
immunities
could, and I think
only.
it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I love my man Rick Devens.
But we'll see. Again, I will never not stand Rick Devens. He's so fun, and I wish Survivor Dwayne would have happened as originally intended, where we have Rick Devens' as trading post.
I want to see that so bad. It'd be so fun.
Oh.
Okay,
Like,
it is.
can you imagine? Can you imagine Survivor 42? Like Marianne and Rick Devens meet face to face.
Oh, that would be so fun. Okay, but it is 2 a.m. and I have driven 5 hours today, so I think it's time for us to wrap it up.
That's fair.
Come back next week. I don't know what time we're doing this because it is holiday season for one of us, the American. But we'll figure it out.
Season for the other one, the Canadian.
It's depression season for all of us. It is. It is
There's a
sad
reason that
season.
Seasonal affective disorder is abbreviated as SAD.
We'll catch you next week. The vibe is spoken.
For really, really long.